not I was not getting or earning much that time. So I only got enough money for all those things. And a few left for like some luho, like kung clothes, yung mga
Shirt
sale
or
lang po. Yes,
shoes.
so yung mga ganun, yung bargain hunter kasi po ako, hindi ako masyado bumibili ng full price because I know
That's
it's
good.
gonna go
That's
on
good.
sale.
Never
So,
buy full price. Yeah.
yes, opo.
Every year, thousands of people migrate to other countries in search for a better life.
Each one with a story to tell of courage and determination.
Adjusting to a new country is not that easy.
Here at Migrant, we honor you.
So join us as we share our stories from our journey down under.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Migrant Tribe. Stories from our journey down under, episode 52. In today's episode, we'll be catching up with Kathrine. We did an episode a couple months back about the life of international students here in Australia. So we're seeing how she's doing now. So here we go. Hello, hi, Kathrine. Thank you for joining us here again on the Migrant Tribe. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good po. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. Still keeping healthy. That's the important thing.
Yes.
So, Kathrine was with us a couple of months ago. Life of an international student here in Australia. Quick background: she arrived in Australia just days after it was the borders were closed, so she was pretty much here. Her mother was stuck here for I think 2 months.
Yes, that's true.
and in spite of that, she still was able to continue with her studies, albeit online. So we're doing this episode. We just want to touch base with her, catch up with her, how things are doing with her. So Kathrine, welcome, and what
Thank
have you
you
been
po.
doing?
Yep, so update po, when I came here, I studied my master's and then I finally finished it on last March. So now I'm already working full-time.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So
my the visa is not on, I'm on bridging visa to graduate visa, which is visa for excitement po.
Okay. So this employer, how were you able to find this employer? Was it the usual online, or was it through a friend? Did they recruit in the school? So because
So
I'm pretty sure a lot of people are kind of curious
po.
finding a job after they're finished with their studies here.
So before, when I was a student, I was pretty active in the school. So I knew most of the staff, and then one staff member moved to another department and there was an opening when I graduated. So
Okay.
I applied in the school that I graduated in, which is Kaplan Business.
Okay. So they
Yeah.
hired, so the school hired you. Okay.
Yeah, so because I pretty much know how it is in the school, I had an edge against the other applicants. So I was the one who got picked for the position, which is Student Experience Officer. So before, I was the student, but now I'm the one assisting the student.
And that's your job currently?
Yes, I've been with them for almost 6 months. Oh, more than 6 months.
More than 6 months. So give us an idea, what's your typical day? What's your duties, responsibilities?
Yeah, so basically the Student Experience Officer makes sure that the student is having a good experience as a student in the school. So we assist them in like enrollment, subjects, if they have any issues like financials, how do they try to continue studying these issues, or if they're undergoing difficulties. We also have our in-house counselor. So we are the ones who accepts the queries and then tries to help them out and assist them or forward them to the right people. So I think it's a very integral part of the student life of the students in my institution, which is Kaplan. So yun po. Daily, we start, I think, it depends. Usually start 9 until
9,
5.
okay.
Yeah. So we welcome students in the campus and ask if they have issues, and we assist them. And then most of the students in Kaplan is also international students. So,
Yes, they cater mostly
Yeah.
to overseas
Yes.
Students.
Mm.
Okay, a lot of Filipinos as well.
Yes. We are like Filipinos is the third biggest population in Melbourne campus. So,
After who's 1 and 2?
so first is I think Nepali, India,
Oh,
South,
really?
South Asians, and then Vietnamese, and then
Vietnamese.
Philippines.
Okay, so the good thing is you can pretty much give them a first hand because you just went through it very recently.
It's true po.
You were here for the longest lockdown in the world. Were you aware of that? Melbourne had
Yes,
the longest,
opo.
the city, and to be exact, it was 263 days. Okay, a bit of trivia. Anyway, so going back, so you never got far, did you? After school, you pretty much worked in your in the same. So your routine never changed. You still go to the same place you're going to when you were
It was
studying.
different po, because when I was studying, I never went to the campus. It was always online.
Okay.
So
okay.
I never got the chance to like go and attend face-to-face classes on campus. So
Okay.
I just met my like lecturers and other staff members
Mhm.
when I started working and not as I was a student. So they were like, the first time I went to the campus, they were like, oh, so it's the first time we're like actually meeting, but he was my teacher for like 4 subjects. So
after all that time, nice to see you. You actually have legs and
Yes.
and
You're actually a
shoes.
real person.
You're actually really okay. So you studied. How long was your studies?
2 years.
2 years, and then now you're working the very same school that you applied to. Okay, I guess the next thing people might be asking out there. So, are you working on a pathway towards being a permanent resident of Australia? And if it's okay, if you can explain what are you working on here?
Yep. To be honest po, up until now, it's not really certain the
Okay.
path for PR because every year the laws are changing. So minsan accounting is on the list, and then they might take it away.
Okay, we're talking
it's
about,
not
is this the demand
Skills.
what do you call it?
Yes.
Skills
on
list?
the skills list po. Yes.
Okay.
So the higher, if your occupation is on the list, the higher the chance that you get to
get that extra
be invited.
points. Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
the point. So as of now, it's very difficult to say if it's really, I'm gonna make it to the PR. But now I just applied for my 485 visa, which is the graduate visa, and
Okay.
luckily they increased it to, I think, from 2 years from before because of the effect of the COVID. They changed it to 3 years.
Okay.
So if
Going back, what is the graduate visa?
So when you study at least 2 years in Australia, you have the chance to apply for it. You will be qualified to apply for a graduate visa, wherein they will give you a chance to work unlimited hours, and then if you want to study again, you can study again.
And you're saying now it's 4 years
3 years.
or 3
For
years?
masters, it's 3 years.
3 years. And yours was masters? What's yours?
Yes, masters of
yes.
accounting.
Okay, so so you're fairly confident that's a visa. You might be granted that visa.
Yes.
You're very
So,
confident. So at least it buys you time. Another 3 years.
Yes, but I won't say I'm so 100% sure, but because I'm
Of course.
still waiting, we
But
don't know
you're
what
pretty
will happen.
confident. That
But I'm positive that
Yes, of course, you
I
have to
will
be.
be able to. Yes.
Okay. And so the additional 3, and also along that line, okay, I'm okay. Disclaimer: none of us were not migration specialists
Yes.
or agents. So
Yes.
all the things that we're talking about here are just on my personal knowledge or experience. But it's also your pathway, is it also possible through employer sponsorship? I mean, is that something that's out there
Yes.
that you're on the
So
lookout for? Yeah.
so currently, I don't think the company that I'm working in it sponsors staff.
So you
But
may have to
if-
have to find someone
Yes.
else willing to.
Mhm.
But it's kind of there. It's
It's
open
in
to
the
you.
long. It's in the
Process.
two
Okay.
years plan.
Oh,
Because you
okay.
need at least, I think, at least a year experience on the job, or like the accounting job that the how do I say
that you
it? The
studied.
course that you
Uh-huh.
studied in should be, so the work that you do
Mhm.
should be related to the field that you graduated in. That's yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the job that I have now, it's honestly not accounting related.
Okay.
So it's more on
admin type.
admin events and stuff, but it's not really accounting.
Mhm.
So if I want to use my accounting experience, I might have to change my job. But currently, I'm really enjoying my job. So
Right.
I don't
Okay.
think,
Of course.
yeah.
Of course. Yes. She enjoys her job. Okay. In case they're watching, so you should keep her. Okay. Okay. So kind of okay. So you've been here 2 years. Okay, and I know another big concern of some students coming here to study is, are they able to afford? Because I know now the restrictions to it used to be you were only allowed
20
limited hours.
Yes,
Is that
20
to
hours
work?
per week. Yes,
But now is that still there?
it
or
was lifted.
Was
It
lifted.
was lifted. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the question is kind of like, how are you able to balance, your with how much you're making, to all your expenses, and kind of give them an idea na, how doable is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was a student, a really big help for me is that I have relatives, so I was able to stay with them and I don't have to pay rent.
Rent, yep, that saves you.
Yes, I can only imagine the difficulty that the other students are facing when they don't have anyone with them in Australia.
Yes.
So
yes. And I'm sure you've met a lot of these
yes,
fellow students who
I've
are in
heard
that
a lot of
situation.
stories that they have like difficulty even sparing some money for their own food, but they graduated now and they're working full time, so that's a positive thing. And the students now are very lucky because they don't have the cap for 20 hours work. And when I was a student, I didn't really have the chance to apply for jobs because it was lockdown. So
So
now
you were
they have
classified
chance.
as part-time back then.
Yes, casual and
Okay,
part-time. Yes. So that's the only job position that I can do.
Okay.
Yes. But now they can work more than even 40 hours. It's unlimited hours, I think.
Okay. And again, how are you able to balance your with the
Yep,
amount?
Yes,
what are
it's
kind of
very
like
important
what are the
to
things that you pay?
prioritize. Yes.
Okay, yes. So
to
what are the things that you
prioritize
pay
things.
for, or your mobile, your
Yes.
Netflix
So,
account? Not the skin.
so is it for when I was a student or now na I graduated?
Let's say you transit from your student, and then now, how you were able to move to your situation now.
So when I was a student, I was staying in with my relatives, so I don't have to pay rent, but I still have to pay my tuition fees and all my utilities. And also, I share with the groceries in the house kasi nakakaya
Of course,
naman
yes,
kung
of
nakikitira ka na nga. Tapos,
Oo nga, nakakaya
pag-
naman.
parang pagkain
Nakikikain ka naman. Magbigay ka naman.
Yun nga. So I was
Okay.
trying to do as much as I can, like share even sa groceries or cook for them, some partial meals during the week. So that I prioritize those things, and then phone bills, and I was not getting or earning much that time, so I only got enough money for all those things, and a few left for like some luho, like kung clothes, yung mga
Shirt
sale
or,
lang po. Yes,
shoes.
so I like yung mga ganun, yung bargain hunter kasi po ako, hindi ako masyado bumibili ng full price kasi I know
That's
it's
good.
gonna go on
That's good.
sale.
Never buy full price. Yeah.
Yes, opo.
That's your motto.
Even po 'di ba sa food, pag sa Woolies yung iba pag on sale, and it's gonna be out of date today. They don't
Right.
buy it. But ako, parang you can freeze it and then you can still use it the next
Right.
day. So I like buying those things because it's such a bargain. So
Right.
that's the thing. I wasn't into really expensive things, so I
Good.
think that
good.
really
It's
helped
good
me
to
a
hear,
lot.
yeah.
Yes. So now that I'm working, I
Mhm.
was able to move out from my
From your relatives?
from my relatives, and now I'm living on my own. So I have to pay rent and also all my
so
utilities.
you're in an apartment or what?
Yes.
What accommodation have you?
I'm like shared home po.
Shared home. Okay.
Yes. So yeah. So
Closer to
additional
school?
expense.
Closer to your
Yes,
work?
closer
Okay.
to the city po.
Good.
So
Saves you
additional
on
expense
transport.
like
Yeah.
train and syempre food. So budgeting talaga. And before I was not really that thinking about saving money, but now I make it a priority that I at least have savings just to prepare for rainy days, because syempre hindi mo po maiwasan kung ano pong mangyayari, diba?
Of course.
And
of course.
additional expense is because if you change from student visa to visa 485, you have to pay more for your health insurance. So more than
And you pay that yearly or monthly?
it's your choice po, but I pay monthly.
Okay.
But it's way higher than compared to the overseas student health cover. So
Okay.
it's
You're talking about the coverage. It was way better.
Mm.
Okay.
I mean the price po is way higher
The premium
than
that
from
you're
the
paying.
student.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay.
the premium. So yeah, yun po. But the plus is I don't have to pay my tuition anymore. So at least
Right, because you're
Mm.
graduating. Okay, so it's possible. It is possible. You've done it.
it's doable, and
It's doable.
most of my classmates po are doing really well. They have their own work and they're enjoying na hindi na po yung masyadong tipid. We now get to go out and eat and enjoy. So that's
That's
yeah.
good to hear.
So it's really possible.
I did you end up doing some side hustles like Uber Eats or something like those? Any?
When I was a student po, I have casual jobs. So it was
Right,
I
right.
did when I was in Sydney the first time I came here. I did cleaning and then
Yes, you did mention that. You did
yeah,
mention
but I
that last
mentioned
time.
it before. I did
Yeah.
cleaning, I did fast food chain,
Uh,
and when I was in Melbourne, I did yung sa showroom po ng mga builders. I was like receptionist and just welcome.
Those are good.
Mm.
Usually weekend jobs yun eh.
Yes,
Not-
and the rates
not
are
too-
very good din po.
That's because not too many people because they want to spend their weekends with at home. That's why these builders they hire people.
Extra people, yes.
And I think you even get higher. You're right. You get a higher rate because it's on.
Kasi po it's a
weekend.
Sunday or a Saturday, so it's good pay then, and you just
And
say
then
hi
you
to the
just present-
people and just welcome them, and then
Welcome.
if they have questions.
Do
So
you
it
want some
was-
coffee?
It was not that hard to do, pero alam po, nakatayo lagi.
Right,
Syempre, yun lang
right.
po. Pero,
Yeah, and
It was-
there'll be hours no one will actually come in. I've
Yes, that's
experienced
true.
that before when
Mm.
I was in the real estate industry. Yeah, that's not a
okay
bad
naman,
gig.
maano naman po siya.
It's not if yeah that's a good side,
Kung hindi
side
ka po mapili sa work, madaming
Yes.
work.
yes yes okay, and so you're working on now, so we're looking at a 2 to 3 year time frame for you
Mm.
to do. Okay, that's nice to hear that things are
And just to
working out
mention
well.
lang po, I'm still with Gawad Kalinga. So if
Yes,
people want to
okay,
still
you're
volunteer with Gawad Kalinga,
volunteer
we're still
work with
open if anyone wants to volunteer. We have made so many events from the past year.
Mhm.
So it's been fun. Yun din po yung additional experience that I gained in Melbourne. I
Yep.
gained my Gawad Kalinga family because they treat you really like a family. yung mga titas of Melbourne, yung po yung mga,
Titas mo,
yung mga nag-asikaso din po sa amin before. Yes.
They
Mm.
become your family here, essentially. Yeah, whenever you need something, sila yung usually the people na tatakbuhan.
And they also make your network wider. So if ever halimbawa po si tita may alam na work na ganito, then they also
Yes.
point you to the right direction. So it's also a good experience.
Okay. And for the people out there, we always, one of the things that we encourage you to do is to do some volunteer work. Just like what she mentioned, it opens up opportunities that you probably weren't aware before. Like, correct, the networking and gaining family and friends. Okay, so let's say if you're speaking to an audience of would-be international students to Australia, what would be, if you had to choose 3 main advice, what would you tell them?
The first thing po is plan. Like, research and plan which school you're going to enroll in or which course. Because some I have experienced that they just go and enroll in, like, for example, diploma courses, and they think na kailangan 2 years pala po para magka-graduate visa. Because that's what we eye for when we actually enroll. We want to have like the additional 2 to 3 years to stay in Australia. So sometimes they don't know na kailangan 2 years. So naka-enroll na sila, halimbawa isang term na, then parang nasasayang
That's
po.
the only time they realize that.
Yes.
So what happens is they just take any course thinking na each course would be the same, and at the end of that it would be a pathway to a graduate visa, but it turns out but you said it kind of changes, or no? Just certain courses are really
certain courses po. And yun lang, basta research and about the school then, because some schools are not really, they're just after the money, and because international students sometimes they
they're
taking
usually
advantage of
exactly that.
Yes, so just make sure that the schools are taking how do I call this, because in Kaplan we make sure that we like deliver like proper education to the students and not just get their money and goodbye. Like, we actually teach them properly, because I've experienced before that there are schools na they just get the money and give the student COE, pero wala naman po yung quality of education. So sayang din naman.
Of course. Sidebar lang, no? There's actually, I just recently found out there's actually called a educational agent. Is that
yes po, yung
there's
agent
a
po.
term. Okay. So they're the ones who kind of match students with schools, and I think the schools get paid.
Correct po.
Schools pay them for every successful enrollee.
Yes po, that's right.
Okay, maybe that's another.
So research, yes.
Research also those.
Research.
I
Research
think
po.
there have been dodgy agents in the past.
Correct.
I just heard of it.
And maniwala po kayo sa hindi, there are other Filipinos who are trying to take advantage of Filipinos as well. So, be careful din po yun.
Yeah.
Sometimes hindi ibig sabihin na kalahi. They won't
They will be taken care of now.
So,
Sometimes
please.
exactly. So that's one.
Take
You have a
note of that.
Second. Yes.
Advice, it's gonna be hard, but you just have to keep on going. Because in the end, it will pay off. Kasi po ako, I believe that kung sa Pilipinas lang po tayo, you will never, sa akin lang po kasi others might think differently. But when you're in your comfort zone, you won't grow. So when you go out of the comfort zone, then you widen your horizon and you learn more. So take the chance and do it if you have the chance or the opportunity to do so.
Was there a time that you actually considered quitting and just going back?
I actually did po. I went back home
I
right
think
the
now I
first
remember
time.
it.
Yes. So I actually
Was it
did.
because you got lonely, or?
bukod po sa homesick ka, parang nasasayangan po ako sa situation when I already finished my bachelor's in the
Back home.
Philippines. And I was also working na sa Philippines. So parang, bakit ako mag-aaral pa ulit and everything. But now I realize na hindi naman po ako kasi happy noon. Even if I'm working and earning, hindi ako happy. So, it's important then to consider yung kung saan ka happy. Yun po yung last ko, yung third.
Okay, the third.
Is,
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you can try it and come here. And hindi, para kasi sa akin yung iba po nahihiya to admit na, ay, hindi ko kaya.
Did not work out, yeah.
Oh, it did not work out. Ayoko umuwi kasi nakakahiya. No,
Plus,
I mean,
at the back
it
of your
doesn't
mind also,
matter.
there was so much that was already spent.
Yes, yung
Yes.
sayang.
Ah.
But if you're not happy, I think it's the most important thing po is you're happy and you feel contented. Like, wag ipilit kung di.
Okay. So we're kind of winding down na lang. So this will be a very short catch up lang naman just to see you. I usually ask this to a lot of our guests. If you had to start all over again, is there something that you would have done differently?
Before po, I would say if I did not do my research when I first came here. I just followed a friend like ginawa nito ganyan.
You just relied on
Yes. But thinking about it po, things happen for a reason. Like it's a journey. You are not there if you're not meant to be there. Like you are put there because you are meant to learn things and it's part of your journey. So I don't think so syempre yun po parang if I can go back in time I would change this, but now I think it's turned out well. So I'm all good.
Okay, no regrets.
Yes.
If it wasn't a straight path, and it doesn't, it usually isn't.
Wala pong thrill pag walang ano po, di ba?
Detours.
Parang boring naman kung
or very planned. Yes, exactly. Perfectly exact. And you kind of really hit it when you said that you really have to go outside of your comfort zone because that's where you can really test yourself and find out what you're capable of doing. And well, thank you, Kathrine. Good luck on your path.
Thank you.
Sure, we'll catch up again a year from now, and hopefully you'll tell me, yes, I'm now permanent resident and married. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
By the way po,
yung
di ba po nag-discuss tayo before yung LDR na
yes.
different? Yung
Yep.
long distance relationship, di po yung nag-work nung una, but yung lockdown relationship is, I'm still with him, so turns out. Okay.
Good on you. Good on you. Okay, so working out well for you. So thank you again. Okay, so that's it for this episode. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye po.